Hi, this is James Zhang with Old Capital, and today we're here with Bishale Patel of Houston Income Properties to talk about a new deal that just came out called Cedar Gate. So, Bishale, maybe to kick it off, give people a little bit of your background, and then we'll jump into this deal.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, James. Yeah, so my name's Bishale Patel. I'm a broker with Houston Income Properties. Been with the firm since 1998. So I've been brokering mostly Class B and C apartment complexes, primarily in the greater Houston area, but also in Central Texas and a handful in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But so yeah, a little bit about my background. I've been a broker for 23 years, same firm since the late 90s, and primarily a B and C apartment guy.
All right, let's jump into this deal. So, Cedar Gate just got listed. Maybe I pull up a map. Maybe give us a little bit about the location, then we'll get into the deal.
Yeah, first of all, it's located in the Spring Branch submarket of Houston, which is one of the most desirable submarkets that Class B and C apartment owners would like to be in when it comes to Houston. And the reason for that is if you look at the map that you have right there, look how centrally located it is. It's You have easy access to I-10, Beltway 8, 290, and the 610 loop. So for that reason, the Spring Branch submarket has been gentrifying for the last 20 years, and it continues to do so. And so right now, the location where my listing is would be probably classified as a B minus specific area, but it's trending towards B as in boy, solid B area. The single family residential, a lot of the older homes are being torn down with half million, $1 million plus homes being built on the lots. And as I mentioned previously, you're so centrally located, you have access to major retail, office, major employment hubs, very good access to major freeways. And so that's a little bit about the location.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled up an aerial. I sort of zoomed in here, and Cedar Gate's right here, and the access to Lowe's, Costco, Best Buy, Academy, all your top sort of big box guys have probably been
Mhm.
in place now for what 5, 10 years that they moved in on there, and then on the south side, really Memorial City has really just taken over that area. Then you have City Center just to the west of there. So I mean, that's top
It's
end
prime.
retail. Yeah.
It's
Um, and
prime location. And if you just go south of I-10 over there, James, you get into Memorial, which you obviously know better than most people. But that area, you can't buy anything for under $1 million as far as a house goes. Good luck, you know. So, and it's all pushing north of I-10 towards where my property is located. Slowly but surely, it's moving further and further north.
right. Okay. No, that's perfect. So maybe let's dive in and tell them a little bit more specifically about this property in terms of number of units, what the seller has done so far, and then sort of
Mhm.
what the upside is for the new buyer.
Sure. So this is a 52 unit C plus apartment property in a B minus specific location, but it's trending towards B. The property is in fairly clean condition, exterior wise. The roofs are about 3, 4 years old. It's mostly brick exterior. When the owner purchased the property, he put new energy efficient windows, new front doors. Um, he did some upgrades to the interiors. Approximately 80 to 90% of the interiors have ceramic tile floors. However, he did about he did partial upgrades in about 40 to 50% of the interiors, which the partial upgrades consist of granite countertops in some apartments, new appliance packages in some apartments, but it's not uniform throughout each unit. It's like I said, partial upgrades. So, but even by doing that, he was able to bump rents. The play here on this deal is number one, it's got a pretty good cap rate going in based on the owner's actual NOI. Okay. In Houston right now, uh, low B's and C deals, if they're stabilized, and they don't have much upside left as far as pushing rents, they're probably trading around 5.5% cap rate range, give or take a few basis points. This deal on the current NOI at the price where I think the seller would consider selling it, it's probably going to be somewhere between a 5.75 to a 6 cap going in. Plus, you've got the additional upside if you do the interior upgrades, and you've got the area gentrifying, getting better and better. So, for someone that wants to get into the Houston market and they're just getting in and they don't want to buy a 300 unit complex, they want a good starter deal to get their feet wet, this is an ideal type scenario for them.
That's perfect. So I pulled up so we saw some pictures of the property, maybe hit
Mm-hmm.
on some of the details of the actual property in terms of individual HVAC, things like that, and
Yeah,
maybe some of the things that people should be looking at.
sure. So like it's early 70s vintage. It's sub-metered for electric, which means they're aftermarket electric meters. You can run it bills paid, or you can run it like an individually metered apartment complex. Um, the ACs are individual HVAC. They're on the roofs. The owner has replaced ACs as necessary. Um, Two-story buildings. They have boilers to heat the hot water. There's one boiler, and it's fairly new. I think it's a year or two old. Um, and so there is covered parking. They're charging extra money for a reserved covered parking spot. Um, and those are the basics, I guess, of the deal.
And
Oh,
then
by the way, James, the units, look at the average unit sizes. They're over 900 square feet. You've got large average unit sizes, a good unit mix with plenty of 2 bedrooms and even some 3-bedroom apartments. Those are a few other, I guess, details that a potential buyer would want to take note of.
yeah, so it looks like a majority of the units are 2-bedroom, and I guess talk about the typical demographic, and then also how the current owner sort of manages this property, because that's 52 units. So does he self-manage? Does he have a model? Does he have a property manager on site? How do they sort of run it now?
So as far as the demographics go, you've got blue collar tenants living in most of the B and C apartments in the submarket. But if you get outside of the apartments, if you look at the single family residential, I would say it's a solid B area that's trending towards B plus A minus. So you've got a lot more white collar I guess demographic moving into the area. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, perfectly. And then in terms of, let me see, in terms of how they manage the property now, I think you
Mm.
said the seller self
Yeah.
manages. Do they just have sort of?
Well, the owner owns several thousand units. Most of his apartment complexes are over 300 units. He bought a few small deals like this 2-3 years ago, just when there was a little bit of a slowdown in the deal volume. And he manages it under his own third-party management company. Since he owns several thousand units, he created his own third-party management company, but they only manage his properties. That's how he runs it. He does charge the property a management fee. I think it's a 5% fee that he charges on this deal. And as far as on-site management goes, you've got an on-site leasing office, you've got a full-time manager that's on site, and a maintenance man that's on site.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So we pulled up the subject property here just right off of Blaylock, and then talk about the rent comps and which ones you think are sort of your main competitors. And if someone comes in, sort of spends the money on the interior rehabs, where do you think you can take rents?
So pretty much all the comps I put on there are good comps and are comparable, competitors of the property. They're all in the same immediate area. But as far as what I think you can do to the property, if you did the interior upgrades, I feel like $50 to $75 per month rent bump is very achievable in my opinion. If you look at the comps, the nicer ones like that have large units, for example, Leaf Hollow, Campbell Grove, those are all good comps. And our properties market rents are like around $917. The comps I just gave you, like Campbell Grove and Leaf Hollow, they're around $1,000 a month. So that's my reasoning for why I think a $50 to $75 rent bump shouldn't be a big deal if you do a good enough interior upgrades and whatnot. But if you want to go above that, that's where I'm not sure. You'd have to do something really special to draw people in to pay a little bit more than just a $50 to $75 a month increase in rents.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, so there's about 50 to 75 over what you're asking now, and Campbell Grove and Leaf Hollow are achieving those right now.
Yeah, they're
similar square
achieving.
footage. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Similar vintage and similar square footage. Yeah.
So right now, in terms of whisper price, you guys are right around 5 million. Is that about right on the whisper price for this deal? And
that's what the owner would like to
yeah.
get. And as you know, owners are going to be a little aggressive on their pricing. But my suggestion to a serious buyer is, because at $5 million, you're at around 96,000 a unit. And my suggestion to a buyer is to make an initial offer in the high 80s to low 90s per unit. And I think that I can get the seller to give a response to that offer. And then where the price lands from there, I really don't know yet. But my opinion is an initial offer that comes in the range of 4.6, 4.7, 4.6 million, 4.7 million would, from a serious qualified buyer that's toured the property, should get a written response from the owner, and then where it lands from there, we'll have to go through the process to see.
Yeah, so I mean, we looked at it right around that whisper price, and on a Freddie sort of small balance loan, we were getting into that 75 to 80% loan to value, just depending on where the final price shook out, and depending on your prepayment structure, we were about 3.5 to 4%. And on a 10-year loan, you would be at 3 years IO. 5-year loan, you'd be at 1 year's IO. And right now, the reserve is 12 months P&I, so you can calculate that. Pretty much about 5% of the loan amount you're gonna have to put up in principal and interest if you do a Freddie loan. If you wanted to just do like a straight recourse bank loan, it'd be at 75%. But in terms of Freddie sizing, we use the net rental. So this property is already well occupied, so it qualifies for Freddie Mac. T12 on other income. And then we took it up to about 75% on the purchase price. Insurance was about $500 a door. Utilities, we used T12. R&M was a little bit higher than we usually do just because it's a smaller deal, so $750 a unit. We used 4% management fee, about almost $1,000 on payroll, and then G&A was $300 a unit. So we were sizing well into the 75, 80% loan to value on this particular deal. So have you guys set a call for offers date, or are you just taking offers as they come?
We have not set a call for offers date yet. Right now it's first come, first serve, but we did an open house a couple of weeks ago. We'll probably do one more, and we're also doing individual tours as well. We'll probably do one more open house and then send out a letter with a date for call for offers. But okay. Right now, like, if someone that was serious, seen the property, and can show the seller that they're qualified and can close the deal, if the offer is right, the seller is okay with doing it, just accepting an offer right now if it meets that criteria.
All right, that's perfect. Any other final comments or wrap up on this particular deal? So people should reach out to you probably via email to set up a tour, and then any questions to get more information, they'll just send you an email directly. Is that the best way?
Yeah, you can call me or send me an email. Emails are good. And feel free to call me at my office. If I'm not around, just leave a voicemail. I'll get back to you. And as far as if you'd like to schedule a tour, just let me know and I can set that up for you. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, in my opinion, here's the deal. It's a small property, so it's a good starter deal for someone that's trying to get into the Houston submarket. It's the area where it's located is so desirable from the perspective of a Class B or C apartment owner, that if this is going to be your, one of your first deals in Houston, and I think this area would be one of the best areas to buy your first deal in. And the fact that it has a cap rate going in, and it seems to underwrite for an agency loan, bodes well for the buyer's cash on cash return. And there's some additional upside there. So yeah, that's my view on the deal. I think it's a hybrid of a kind of a cap rate deal and a value add deal.
That's perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit more about the deal, and we'll have people reach out directly to you.
Well, thanks very much, James. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.